Hello, boys and girls. Do you know who this is? It's Miss Angela, and we are on day 147 days of drawing together. Can you tell what we're going to draw today? Enough mermaids, enough unicorns. I decided we'll still do fantasy, but how about a dragon? So grab your paper and your pencils, your colored pencils, your markers, whatever you have at home, and let's draw a dragon. All right, we're going to have to lose that way we draw, though. Isn't this the coolest mask? It's so bumpy. I love it. And the teeth and everything. This is my favorite dragon mask I have. Okay, are we ready? Like I said, it's a day 147 days of drawing together. Now today, oh my goodness, it's making my nose, my nose is running from being in the mask. All right, we are going to draw something a little different than normal. Normally we draw and it's very just big circles here and that. And today we're going to draw more of a sketch. A sketch means we're going to lightly make lines. Instead of making one big circle, if I say we're going to do something, we're going to make little tiny lines. Now let me see if I can adjust this just a little bit better so we can, oh, not that adjusting. See if we can get down there. Oh yeah, so we can see our canvas a little bit better. All right, are we ready? All right, like I said, we are going to do sketching. Sketching is just using little lines. Now I have a marker. If you're using a pencil, you'll be able to erase if you don't like what you've done. So we are going to do our dragon. We're going to just do his side of his head and kind of just his neck. He's going to have a very, very long neck. It's going to be a little scary, just like the one that I was just wearing. So let's go ahead and I am going to start his face here and bring his nose down and back up. It's kind of like the unicorn's head. It's going to have kind of that same shape. So I'm going to come down, and when I sketch, I do this. See the little lines just like that? It's not one big line. It's so I can erase and I can get it right where I want it. I'm going to make a little bump where his eye is going to be. So we've got kind of a side of his face, and then we're going to make his nose right here. All right, and I'm going to bring his nose. He's going to have a point at the bottom of his nose. So then we're going to come right back up here. It's kind of got like a bird's beak on him. And then let's go up, and that'll be his mouth. See how sketchy that is? It's not just a big solid line. It's so you can play around with it, and if you don't like a line, you just say, oh, I'm going to move that out a little bit, and then you sketch right next to it. All right, so now we have got like his forehead, where his eye is going to be, and kind of a beak comes down. Now I don't want just a beak, I want the bottom of his jaw down here. So I'm going to come in a little bit, not right at the beak part, but underneath here. We're going to make kind of his chin. So it's a line right under there. And then I'm going to make it a little fatter, like his jaw there. So I'm going to go out. So now you have got the shape of the front of your dragon's face. We're going to go up here. We're going to make the top of his head. We don't want a normal head, so we're going to make a bump, and then we're going to make another bump. All right, now we have got the shape. It's almost like a skull, isn't it? Let's go ahead and give him some ears. Now we're going to give our dragon some big, long, scary ears. So I'm going to start right here where I ended, and I'm going to give him almost like elf ears. Just like that. It's a big ear. And then we can even put a little line in the middle of it where the inside of his ear is. Now I'm going to do, while I'm doing this, I'm going to put a horn right here, but the horn is going to go up and go behind his ear. He's going to have a big horn. So I'm going to go all the way out here and a point up, and then I'm going to bring it all the way back down to touch his head. This is scary. So is this getting confusing here? This is why you use a pencil and eraser. In case it gets confusing, you can erase it. Now let's do another horn. And I'm going to make this horn is going to come out of, that one came out of that bump. This one's going to come out of this bump. I'm going to make this one a little smaller because it is behind. It's farther away. So we've got an ear, a horn, and a horn. And now we need one more ear, but we're only going to see a little part of it, just like that. All right. That is the hardest part of this whole thing. Now, if you didn't do it right, or you think, oh, that's not right, I want to stop the video, go back, do it again, erase, do it as many times as you need to get kind of this fun shape. Now, normally our pictures are very simple. They're very, very simple. This one is more on the complicated side. So this is, if you're not doing it really good because you're used to drawing just circles like mermaids and all that kind of stuff, this one's more challenging for you. So if you're having a hard time, don't worry. Practice. That's all you have to do is practice. All right, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to come down kind of right in the middle of his ear. Pretend like this was his head. His head's there. I'm going to come right down a pretend line, and I'm going to give him a long neck. Again, I'm using kind of a sketchy thing. That way I can kind of change it as I go. And then I'm going to go right underneath the part here of his jaw, and I'm going to put the other side of his neck. But I'm going to make it go out just like this. He's kind of turning over his shoulder and looking. Kind of looks like a little bit like a deer, but very angry deer. Let's see. I'm going to put right here. I'm going to give him different shapes on his neck. So I'm going to come right down to where his ear is ending. I'm going to sketch. That's going to be like the back of his neck. And then I want the front, but I don't want the front too much. So maybe I'll only start a little tiny bit. And then I'll go like that. Getting good. Okay, on here, you know how like a fish has scales? I think we did them on our mermaid even. So we're gonna make little half circles, just like this. And you can make them anywhere you want. They can get bigger. You're just giving the illusion of scales. So do them anyway. There is no right or wrong way. You're just making scales. You can have 3 across, you can have 2 across. It really doesn't matter. Oh, he's looking cool. He's looking more and more like a dragon. I want to put an eye. Now the eye might be hard. Put your finger there where his ear is and bring it right over like that. And that's where we're going to put his eye, right like that. So I'm going to put just almost like a football, but a little skinnier. And we've got a dragon eye. What else can we do to this? Maybe I'll make just like these scales here. Maybe I'll make some scales on his forehead coming off of those bumps. Yeah, I like that too. He's got to have something out the back. So let's give him almost like a fish would have, I guess it's not scales, it's like the fins on the back of their body. So let's give him let's just do this. Let's just make it fun. Just like, practice that. I do that so it comes easy, and then we'll have some lines in there. I could have even made them bigger. And then maybe we'll even have that come up here, maybe one right in there. All right, he is awesome. Now, again, this is hard because I should have probably drawn an egg shape and then have you erase it, but this is kind of the way I draw, so I'm just showing you how I would do it. But let's get going, let's color. I'm gonna grab some colors here, and I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give my dragon a red eye. I am going to make him, if we're going to make him scary, let's make him scary. So he's got a red eye, and maybe I'll do some red in his ear there, just for something different. Maybe I'll give him his horns. Maybe his horns will be yellow. I'm going to draw that all up there. And this could be any color you want. I'm going to make my dragon, I'm going to make them greens, but you can make your dragon any color. Your dragon could be red and oranges if you wanted to. It's a fantasy, so it can be anything you want him to be. Because he's really not really a creature. He's a mythical creature. He's a pretend, made up. But like I said, this is a hard one. So if you had a hard time with it, don't get mad at yourself. Just keep practicing. Now I'm going to do yellow down here, just for something different. If you're doing your dragon red, maybe you want down here to be orange, or maybe still yellow. If you get good at drawing this dragon, you can draw him multiple times and color him in all different ways. Alrighty. Like I said, this is a little bit hard. Now, what color am I going to make my dragon? I think I'm going to make him a darker green. So I'm just going to go ahead and color him in green. Kind of just like my shirt I'm wearing, just like the mask was. A nice green dragon. And as you're doing this, well, I'll show you in a minute. Let me get this part done first. Kind of coloring them in all, trying to get all the same kind of color to them. Oh, my arm's getting tired. Now this eye, I didn't draw a second eye here because his head is turned. And if I were to turn like this, you would only see this eye and you would not see this eye. So that's why you only have one eye on your dragon. It's back there behind that bump. Well, people on that side of him can see that eye. Okay, there we go. Got that all colored in. I'm still going to color more, but you can take your crayon or whatever you're using, usually crayons or colored pencils. I'm going to peel it back a little bit. And if you want to do some shadow and some shading, since this is a really complicated, hard picture, you might want to just take it that whole other direction into a really good picture. All right, see where I made all these little scaly things? I can go ahead and make that darker there, pressing really hard underneath each scale. And when I press under each scale, it gives it like shadowing. Isn't that cool? And maybe I want down here under his jaw, maybe I want that to be darker. Oops, I broke my crayon. I guess I'm coloring too hard. So just like that, I can see how that makes it look like a shadow under him. And then maybe I'll do just the tip of his nose is darker too. Maybe under his ear. You could play around with this a little bit too. Now, you know what? I forgot to do this ear over here now that I'm seeing that. So we want to get that ear in. And I'll definitely push harder on this one because this one's in the shadows a little bit. All right, and now I'm going to go down his neck. I would love to see some of these dragons, how you did on them, because like I said, it's a hard one. But your dragon doesn't have to look exactly like mine either. Your dragon can look like however you want your dragon to look. Maybe you have a nicer dragon. Maybe your dragon's mouth is open and he's breathing flames out of it. That would be cool too. Get creative with this. Try this a couple different times. Try the dragon any way you want. Like I said, he could be different colors. All right, I'm going to use my crayon. I'm going to push hard in certain places where I think it'd be dark. I think it'd be dark underneath his head here. And I think it might be dark along this edge. Any way you want to do it. I just think it makes it look really cool. Now, if I wanted to go back, I could take my yellow and do the same thing. I could get these, I could make them very, very, and you know what? I'm going to try something different. I'm going to grab an orange color, and I'm going to put orange on all those scales. And that gives even more of a different kind of look. The only thing about doing it this way is it hurts your fingers after a little bit because you're pushing so hard to make a shadow. This would have been more helpful if I kind of did my scales, paid a little more attention and made them a little bit more like a pattern. I just kind of put them anywhere and everywhere. All right, so we got a little bit more to do here. We're going to do the back part. I don't know what you call that, like a spin or something back on the back of them. Maybe I'll take a very, let's see how what color that looks like. Yeah, that's too close. Let's see. I don't know what color to make it. I guess I'll use this kind of really, really light green color. And I'm going to put it up there. I just didn't want it to look just like the horns. All right, I'm going to switch sides so I can go over here. There we go. And I'm going to, so I can go over here and you can see it being colored. This almost looks like a yellow, but it's really a lime color, like a green, light green color. Oh, he is looking awesome. He's pretty scary. Maybe you have a friendlier one you've drawn. And then maybe I'll take my dark green again and I'll do the same thing. I'll push harder and I'll make shading on him. Maybe every place where there's a little line, I'll do a little color. Now, you can practice this too with any drawing you do, pushing harder in places and pushing lighter in other places. Maybe I'll go down here a little bit. Now, you could take your time with this. I try to not have too much time that you have to sit and watch me just color. I'm going to fill that in there because I think that would be part of his fins or hair. What are we calling this? I don't know. All right. Now you have got an awesome, awesome dragon. Remember, this is hard. Don't get discouraged. Try to draw it. If you don't like it, flip your paper over, try it again. Just keep trying and make him the way you want him to. Now, this is fantasy. If you get this dragon on here, look at all this space back here behind him. Think about the stories that you read or the movies that you watch. Could there be a castle over here? Could there be a moat that goes around the castle? Could there be trees and hills over here? Maybe you could make a whole scene behind him. Maybe he's coming out of a cave. I don't know. It's endless, the ideas. You can make up your own fantasy picture with this dragon in the front of it. So, boys and girls, get to work and get creative. Do what I tell you every single week. I want you to stay safe. Wash your hands, listen to your parents, listen to your teachers. Definitely stay creative. You can get super creative with the background on this one. And what do I tell you? Especially the most important thing is to be kind to each other. Kindness is a wonderful gift that you can give anybody. So we'll see you next week on day 148. Thanks for joining me. Don't get discouraged. Try this one. It's hard, but I think you can do it. See you next week, everybody.